All right, because I know people are going to ask. This is an article Zach Elsick wrote on this deck. It's only one card off of what I have put together here. I added a Squee over Dark Blast, so I'm going to be referencing his sideboard notes there at the bottom, probably many times throughout the course of the night. This is a pretty easy mulligan. You're looking for three things in this deck. You're looking for mana, you're looking for a dredger, and you're looking for a way to draw, discard, and then draw that dredger. And this has two of those three things, but I think moving to hand size here is pretty bad. Also, I don't think my noise gate's on. It's not. Also, the fact that I have Narcomoeba in the opening hand makes this hand significantly worse, because Narcomoeba is a card that's much better for us when it's in our deck. And this hand's great. It's got a dredger, it's got mana, it's got ways to draw and discard. Anybody else having audio issues, or just Kelvin? I feel like logging all these hours with a huge array of decks has made me a better Magic player. I don't know. Probably hasn't made me worse. Probably hasn't made me worse to set the bar low. I'm gonna bottom this. I already have two ways to draw discard in my hand, so I think I just want to like work my way towards like prized amalgams and stuff. I'm sure I'm gonna get punished and we're gonna draw like a Narcomoeba next turn now, but like basically anything that's not a Narcomoeba is a better draw than another Neonate, I think. This matchup's very good for us. This matchup's very good for us. The fact that we have Lightning Axe in our opener is also very good for us. Believe it or not, we're good against the Burning Inquiry deck. All right, hopefully we hit another dredger here. God damn it. All right, they put our Loam back in the bin, so I can't complain too much, and we kept our Lightning Axe, so I suppose that's fine. That could have gone much worse for them. They lost their Tassiger. They don't have a hollowed one. All right, so during my upkeep here, I'm gonna go ahead and Lightning Axe this and ditch the Stinkweed Imp, so I can dredge more here. I'm gonna go ahead and pop my graveyard out here, because this is basically our hand. This is more important than my actual hand in this game. There's one of my mountains in the bin, so I'm gonna go ahead and fetch the other one here. I have two dredgers in here. Man, okay, we had a Narcomoeba. Hopefully here's hitting some prized amalgams here. Wow. So this is a good lesson for people that want to play Dredge. If you're not good at having prized amalgam in the top half of your deck, you can't play this deck. This deck is much worse when you don't have prized amalgam in the top half. Almost half our deck. We still have 4 more cards before we're through half our deck. We're not even in that bad of a spot here, because like they're only attacking for 2, right? And I get to dredge the Stinkweed Imp next turn, and then I get to shock myself and flashback a Faithless Looting. So we're actually in a pretty reasonable spot. Like these Narcomoebas block well, so not really too concerned. Kind of a missequencing on their part there. They binned a Flamewake Phoenix on that Goblin Lore. Ooh, there's a Squee the Immortal for later. All right, always attack first. I'm gonna leave one of these Narcomoebas back to maybe block the bird. What's the point of Squee in this deck? It is another card that triggers Prized Amalgam, because you can cast it from the graveyard. It's a free discard with Faithless Looting. Just does a lot of stuff you're interested in doing. There's some amalgams. There's some amalgams, chat. So this is gonna trigger. We'll get 2 amalgams back. And then, we hit a Conflagrate yet? Wow, we actually haven't hit a Conflagrate yet. Okay. If we hit a Conflagrate, we probably have lethal next turn. The neat thing about Squee the Immortal is that you can cast him from exile too. So when people play their graveyard hate against you, you still get a 2/1 out of it. And like, I've played this deck a good bit. I was gonna play it in a mock tournament, so I played like, I don't know, probably 50 or 60 matches with this deck. And there's a lot of games where you just like get into these awkward beatdown states where like your opponent kept a miserable hand because it had a piece of graveyard hate in it. And like just literally anything would kill them. So like even just having a 2/1 is good enough. I spent today chasing the kids outside. I'm old and fat. I've only been standing for a little bit, but I'm gonna sit down again. Ugh, don't get old and fat, chat. You have to get old, don't get fat. I would be thinner, but I love chocolate. It's a curse, really. Burning Inquiry. Bold. Ten cards left in my deck. Good news, we hit the Conflagrate. No blocks. So they're at 14, which means I can conflagrate them for 4 exactly here, which is useful because it gives my Bloodghast haste. We put our entire library into our graveyard, and we found one of the cards we put in it. Weird. If you hate losing 2, 3, 4. If you hate losing to Hollowed One, this is certainly the deck for you. So when your opponent has 10 life or less, Bloodghast gets haste, so this will knock him to 10, which will give these haste. All right, got him. This is definitely a Lightning Axe matchup. I don't know if Hollowed One was a deck when Elsic wrote this. It was. He said to bring in a couple of Nature's Claim because they could have Leyline of the Void. That makes sense. The Trim, a Neonate, a Conflag. Grudge is kind of a free roll. It has a cost. Like I have to cut something from my deck. Like you have to draw these cards on occasion. Elsic said not to bring in Grudge, so I'm gonna listen to Elsic. Well, this hand is awful for so many reasons. If you're playing poker for some reason with your Dredge deck, you should keep this hand, but we're not, so we're gonna mulligan. This hand's very good. Needs another land, but pretty good other than that. It's not even a good Hearthstone hand, right? I'm just playing L6 list. I'm assuming he had a reason for not playing them. Yes, all the Dom legendary cards are bordered in the way that Squee is bordered, and on Magic Online, they've back bordered some of the older cards. What's going on, Rossum? Hope you had a good weekend. I didn't catch where you finished. I've been to Bloodghast, sure. Let's auto yield that one. So when you use the Insolent Neonate, you want to make sure you use this during your opponent's second main phase, because in the event that we dredge into Prized Amalgam and Narcomoeba, we want the Prized Amalgam to come back during my opponent's end step. And then with this Cathartic Reunion in hand, we're going to have to do a lot of damage next turn. All right, we hit an Amalgam, but we did not hit the other thing. God, we're really bad at hitting dredgers tonight. That was another swing and a miss on a dredger. Drawing a second Cathartic Reunion is a nice consolation prize, though, that's for sure. So I'm going to Reunion, and I'll bin Stinky and Loam. Dredge. Holy God. We just dredged 13 more cards and didn't hit another dredger. Eight more cards, not 13. 5 and 3 is 8. We dredged 8 more cards, so we dredged 13 total. Double Stinkweed and then single that. Man, that's rough. I didn't block because blocking wasn't a legal play. Flameblight Adept has Menace for whatever reason. We did draw Squee. This is not where we want you, Squee. This is not where you're wanted. This is good news for us. Are they just passing? Sweet. They're also running as bad as we are. I'll take it. I'll take it. Oh, I want to discard these. We're still in an okay spot here. I think I'm actually going to take this Dakmor Salvage. It's actually the only dredger in the bin here. Okay, we hit a Narcomoeba. Wow. That's so unfortunate. So not only are we missing dredgers, but that's the first Narcomoeba in 35 cards, and there's only been one Prized Amalgam in 35 cards. Good gosh, who did I piss off? That's just impressive, chat. The numbers on that are... No, I just want to power through my deck. The Conflag plan is far too slow, I think. The bottom 25 cards are fire, right? Guess I'll take a draw step again. Yeah, I mean, I have to just take 2 draws here, right? Hopefully we hit a red source so we can conflag this turn. And of course we didn't. So I want to dredge next turn, and I want to conflag next turn. I'm going to go ahead and cast Loam and get back Blood Crypt, Gemstone Mine, Copperline Gorge, I guess. I'll put the Blood Crypt into play tapped here. I should have attacked with these first. I can Loam, you're not wrong. I'm going to leave these back as blockers here. If they have some removal and some reach, we could die here, but if they don't have those things, maybe we could be okay. Like, they're not doing anything, so I have to feel like they could have a bolt or something like that in their hand. Are they dead? They're dead, right? I dredge this. Yeah, they're dead. All right, sweet. Our draw was real bad, but theirs was worse. God bless. So we're gonna loam. Like I said, this matchup is good. Gonna loam these up. We'll cast this Conflagrate for 8 to their face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The Hollowed One secret mode, right? This card has text other than be a free 4/4. Gonna run you down. Yeah, yep. All right. Our deck that wants to draw and discard cards beat the Burning Inquiry deck. Scoreboard. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Thanks for hanging out. This will be our last league of the evening, but don't worry, I'll be back tomorrow morning about 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to probably be playing some more Modern all day. It was a fair escape. The red-black hollow one deck just feels like it either like explodes or is just completely anemic and doesn't do anything, it feels like. using Hollowed One as what's his name? Mark Rosewater intended it to be used. Our opponent has a Squee avatar. Food poisoning, gross. I hope you're feeling better. This hand had a red source, it'd be very good, but I think we can do better at 6. Dredge is a deck that tends to mulligan very well. My record for lowest number of cards I've kept in hand and still won the game with Dredge is 3. How come Dredge isn't super popular for tournament play? Dredge is the type of deck where you generally don't choose to get to beat your opponents. Your opponents choose whether or not they want to beat you by playing sideboard cards. And if your opponent has enough sideboard cards and they draw them, you're just going to lose the game most of the time. And that's not a very popular idea for a lot of people. Magic players generally enjoy playing games of Magic where they have more choices than that. Okay, it's another Hollow One matchup. Do you have a 4/4? If they have a 4/4 on one here, probably going to be a little bit slow here on the draw. Our hand's not particularly fast. They didn't get to pitch any Bloodghast or Flamewake Phoenix though, so that seems pretty good for us. I feel like do people actually like playing Magic in paper? I feel like every deck we play on here, there's always someone in chat that's like, man, this deck seems miserable to keep track of in paper. Like, keeping track of lots of neat things that are going on is part of the appeal of Magic. It's a neat game with a lot of intricacies. Wow, they've been 4 lands now already. So we really want to draw another Dredge card next turn so we can bin 2 Dredge cards to these Cathartic Reunions. Don't play another one. It's a Delve threat. Yeah, it's a Delve threat. I don't know if I'm supposed to concede to conceal information at this point, or if I'm supposed to just like YOLO it. I feel like I'm just supposed to YOLO it, because with like a good series of Dredges here, we could actually just kill them anyways. Please, Stinkweed Imp. Please, Stinkweed Imp. Alright. Hopefully we dredge into another Dredger or 2 here. Ding. Okay, that's a Narcomoeba. And we have a Conflag in there, so we can kill one of their things next turn, which is nice. I could also Cathartic Reunion. Is this it's a Collective Brutality, maybe? We found a copious amount of dredgers this time. We still have another Golgari Thug. Is a Collective Brutality. Just use it as a deal 4, basically. Are they dead? We have 4 Bloodghast and a Conflagrate. That's exactly lethal, right? Conflagrate you for 6, bring back 4 Bloodghast is exactly lethal. This is such a fucked up deck. When this deck gets going, it is so good. That's lethal, right? There's 4 Bloodghasts in here. I mean, all right, giddy up, cowboy. Giddy up. One, two, three, four, five, 6. Two, 3, 4, 5. Just like, I don't know that I've ever killed on turn 3 with this deck before. That's pretty unlikely. I'm glad we didn't concede to the turn 2 Tasigur. Glad we didn't concede to turn 2 Tasigur. I'm gonna board like we boarded before. I'm gonna cut this. Cut a Conflag, cut a Loam, bring in 2 claims and a Lightning Axe. Slow. It was a slow Dredge hand. We peeled off real good there. Peeled it off real good. What's going on, Steam Plugger? The hottest hot of Dredge fires. I think it's a fine deck, Dazer. I think my only strong opinion on Miracle, since I don't have a ton of experience with it, is I think trying to play back to basics and a red splash is greedy and bad. I think you need to pick one or the other. Either you play Pyroblast and Blood Moons, or you play back to basics. Playing back to basics and Volcanic Islands for Pyroblast seems really greedy. I think Miracles is like, it's a fine deck. It's not like Deathrite Shaman 4-color control mush good, but like it's an acceptable like tier 2 power level. This hand is great. It's got a Lightning Axe, it's got a Neonate, it's got Dredgers. As a Kappa, Dredge really speaks to me. Thanks for the bits. I like Dredge because, like Affinity or Robots or whatever you want to call it, this deck has a lot of onboard math, where this is a deck where when playing against Dredge, you will gain percentage points knowing how to play the deck, which is why I always recommend to people when people ask me, like, how do I improve at Modern? Once you feel like you have a lot of experience with the deck that you enjoy playing and you intend to keep playing, going out of your way to play other decks in the format is very, very valuable, because there's a lot of decks like Dredge and like Affinity where you'll be able to play better against them if you know the things that make them tick. Yep. Again, we're going to want to make sure we use our Neonate during my opponent's second main phase or earlier, so that way if we hit Narcomoeba plus Amalgam, we get them back at their end of turn. No artifact tutors, real good for us. How's Squee been? Literally haven't put him into play yet. We've just drawn him a couple of times. Okay. We missed on hitting another Dredger, but we did hit a Faithless Looting for later. It's like 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Probably doesn't make you worse. That's true. That streamer sounds really smart. Probably thin, too. It's gonna go and attack for 1 here. Hopefully they play out some kind of large gentleman or gentle lady, so we can lightning axe it, discard this to dredge next turn. I guess the downside to playing the Dakmor Salvage is that we have less red in the event that we want to Conflagrate later. Yeah, the Jeskai Control deck last weekend had a Teferi Planeswalker in it, and you'd know that already if you had read my article on GatheringMagic.com. My articles post there every Friday, and last week I did a breakdown of some of the sweet cards from Dominaria that had made a splash into Modern. And Teferi, the Planeswalker, was one of them. So I'm going to kill this before they get to enter combat, so they don't get to bring their bird back. KnowYourMeme.com. That's great. Please Burning Inquiry me. Please Burning Inquiry me. Tilt. I was so excited, chat. I was like, my body is ready to get Burning Inquired. Look at that. Thanks for the link. I appreciate it. Yeah, Dagger Scapeshift deck, it was really sweet. It's uploading to YouTube now, and we had someone else donate to put it back in the queue, so we'll definitely be running it back at some point in the near future. I'm going to be streaming more moving forward, so we'll get to everything in the queue much faster. I'm going to be increasing the amount of hours I'm streaming by almost 50%. All right, we had a Stinkweed Imp here. Hopefully this hits more dredgers. It did not hit more dredgers because I'm very unlucky. We hit another Narcomoeba. God, our prized amalgams have just been hiding on us so badly today. Just where are my prized amalgams at? Nobody knows. I'm gonna leave. Nah, I don't have to leave this back. I can double block with these. What will I do if the Q hits 0? I'm gonna realistically assume, Jet, that the Q's only going to hit 0 if I have alienated every subscriber for some reason. I feel like by pricing the donation decks aggressively, the Q getting towards 0 will only encourage people to donate more because they can donate the minimum amount and see their deck right away. So I'm going to trade these Narcomoebas for this this Flameblade Adept here. If I drew Mox Opal for every time I drew Narcomoeba, I'd have some kind of trophy. That's great. My streams are littered with things that are controversial. I'm just like generally, I'm generally pretty reasonable even when I'm controversial. and I articulate myself reasonably well. Thinking the queue can empty without Justin getting arrested. I think I'm pretty happy that they spent a lightning bolt there. I think that exchange was good for us. Yeah, I think I'm just going to cast Loam and then flashback Conflagrate, right? And I'm still at 15 here, so I think because I'm at 15, I'm just going to clean up all of their Bloodghast too. I think we're in a board state where we can afford to be a little bit defensive, because our deck definitely has a little bit better longer game. And with age comes wisdom, Cookie Lord. Like, there's definitely people that dislike me because I wasn't always the most graceful person at telling people things they didn't want to hear. There's right and wrong. It's like, you know, yes, you're correct, Ted, but you're still an asshole. Like, there's right and wrong ways to be correct and let people know things that they really don't want to hear. All right, let's clean this mess up. As long as we don't get, like, Nile spellbombed here, I think we're a pretty strong favorite from here on out. So next turn, I get to dredge life from the Loam. And then I can play one of the lands we get back and cast Faithless Looting. A Delve Threat or a Hollowed One are their two better things they could do here. They just hit their third Bloodghast in the bin. One of their cards being a land is real good for us. Do they have a Faithless Looting of their own? Is that what this is? They don't have a Faithless Looting in there. So what's your last card? If they have a Delve Threat, they get to flip two Flamewake Phoenixes into play, which would actually be pretty good for them. We have a real game still at that point. The way this game is playing out, I feel like maybe boarding out my third Conflagrate is wrong. It feels like it's a pretty important tool. So, Gemstone Mine, thing. So I hit a Prized Amalgam there. Do I actually just want to cast Squee and get guaranteed 5 power back rather than gamble? Because, like, I'm already through 3 Narcomoebas, so I think I'd actually rather just cast Squee here rather than try and dredge for 1. Oh, this is coming back regardless. Huh, because I had a Bloodghast. Alright, I'm a liar. I'm going to flashback this Faithless Looting, since I had a Bloodghast in there. If we didn't have Bloodghast, I think I'd just cast Squee. Yeah. And the sweet thing about this is this Prized Amalgam is going to trigger from these Bloodghasts and come back at our end of turn. And then that Amalgam coming back is going to trigger these other 2 Amalgams. So this one will come back, which will trigger these 2. So these other 2 will come back during my opponent's end step. So we just have to not die from 14 here, which should be pretty doable. Maybe I should have left this back. Leaving this back was probably the conservative play. Like, we're overkilling them by a lot, so, like, dealing 1 more damage doesn't really matter, especially when they're already going to 10. Like, 9 and 10 isn't that big of a difference. So, yeah, this attack was wrong, but I don't think they have cards that can punish us on 2 cards here. Yeah, I don't think they can make up 8 damage with 2 cards. They could have, like, Delve Creature, double Flame Wake into Bolt Me, but that's only +7, which leaves me at 1. Like I said, I definitely think I should have left this Narcomoeba back to be a little bit conservative with how far ahead I am. What you got, opponent? What you got? What you got? What you got? Howdy, howdy, just a city boy. Welcome. Hope your weekend's going well. They have a Collective Brutality. Okay, you're still dead. So I know you don't come up with the deck list, but do you have any idea what Squee does? I actually added Squee to this. This was just a request for me to play Dredge in general. Squee is a card that we can cast from our discard pile that triggers our prized amalgams. I think what ultimately happened to the Death Shadow decks is people just realized that they weren't that much better than the other things people play in Modern anyways, and like the Death Shadow decks don't create particularly interesting play patterns, so like when people realized they weren't that much better than most other things, they just started playing other things to have more fun with them. Collective Brutality did mean attacking was right. Okay, sweet. Well, we're 2-0 to start with Dredge. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Hope you had a great weekend, having a good Sunday. My name is Jeff Hoagland. I'm a full-time streamer and content producer here on Twitch. If you're new, welcome. If you're one of my regulars, welcome back. Be sure to check out my link to my schedule on my blog on my personal website. I have a new schedule starting this week. I'm going to be streaming even a whole lot more than I already was. So big shout out to all my subscribers out there. My subscribers are the reason I'm able to do what I do as often as I do it. So thank you for the support from all of them. If you want to help me do this, please consider subscribing to the stream as well. You can also support myself by supporting my sponsors. mtgotraders.com will have to buy and sell some Magic online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal at checkout with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. CoolStuffInc.com buys and sells a lot of cool stuff, including TCG singles. Using promo code Jeff5, you can save 5% on Magic, Pokemon, and Yu-Gi-Oh cards with them. And finally, Mack Weldon provides premium men's clothing. Using code Jeff Hoagland, all lowercase, at bit.ly/hoolclothes. You can save 20% on your first order of premium men's clothing there. They do polos, t-shirts, underwear, shorts, boxers, all sorts of great stuff there. Any rate, we're heading on into the third match here. Hopefully can keep up the strong finish. We're at least well on track to finish our 3-2. What is JAC in the queue? JAC stands for Jeskai Ascendancy Combo. Yep. They don't do suits, that's correct. They're mostly more casual wear than that. What do I think about Eldrazi Tron? I think if you're going to go through all of the hassle of assembling Tron, you should just tap 3 lands and cast Karn. Huh. This hand's kind of close. I feel like on the draw I can do better than this. Like, whenever I have a hand that I feel is close in this deck, I tend to mulligan it if it has Narcomoeba in it, just because like having Narcomoeba in your opener is a pretty big drawback in this deck, just because you really want Narcomoebas in your deck to flip Prized Amalgams into play. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan this. This hand needs a Dredger, but other than needing a Dredger, this hand's very good, and we get a Scry and we're on the draw. Hey, PJ Player. Well, welcome to a live one. Hope you're enjoying it. So, I said this hand needs a Dredger, but I'm actually going to go ahead and keep this because our turn 1 can be Faithless Looting, Ditch Bloodghast, and Amalgam, and then assuming we find a land, we get to flip 5 power into play on turn 1. Justin, message me your standard deck in private on Discord and we can talk. That's a slow Affinity start. All right, sweet. We still didn't find a Dredger, but like I said, we're going to each put 5 power into play next turn, which is nice. And there's a Dredger. Perfect. So we do need another red. Oh, actually, that's a little awkward. We need. Oh, I can Ghost Quarter myself and get another red source, huh? I don't have a green source right now to cast this Loam, though, which is a little awkward. All right, we missed on Dredgers, but we hit another. We hit our colored source, so I guess that's an okay consolation prize. So next turn we'll take a draw step. I'll play a land, and then I can Conflagrate for 3. Ravager probably means it's not going to be good enough. I think their hand is going to be a little bit too fast for us here. Our hand was more ready to grind rather than be explosive. How's our sideboard look for this matchup? It's okay, we've got a Grudge and some claims. Yeah, I'm just gonna pack it in. I don't think we're beating this. Chat on this channel is one of the few that I actually turn on. That's great. That's what I like to hear. All right, what is the Affinity sideboard guide say? So he had Lightning Axe and Grudge, some claims. It's boarding in 6 cards total. Yep, that's 6. We're cutting 2 Neonate, a Bloodghast, a Life from the Loam. And I've got some others showing on. Squee the Immortal is probably a little bit slow. Maybe I don't want all these decays. This is too much. I could just trim another Bloodghast. I'm gonna do this. Let's give this a try. See how it feels. I think Squee is definitely a little bit too slow for this matchup. Just not the style of card this matchup really demands. We've actually played the Modern Belcher deck on this channel a few times. It's a lot of fun. It's really sweet. I actually think I have it in the queue again, speaking of. This hand needs a Dredger, but it's perfect. I would love to top a Dredger. Got a Nature's Claim as a sideboard card here, so sign me up. We drew another one, sweet. Ditch Loam, ditch Bloodghast, pass the turn here. I don't actually have... Oh, I boarded an Abrupt Decay. I was going to say I don't need to fetch a Black Source, but I have 1 Decay in my deck. Just say Jace is the best card in Modern. Oh, chat. Oh, chat. Amalgam. Huh? We hit Narco and Amalgam. Okay, this is definitely the type of hand we need to do well. So I think I want to keep both of these Nature's Claims in my hand. So rather than Cathartic Reunion this turn, I'm going to go ahead and just cast this Life from the Loam. So I really just don't want to keep these both in my hand for sure. So turn 2, 6 power, NBD. Not the worst by any means. Modern's never been a non-aggressive format. It's pretty much always been a format that rewards being proactive. All right, sweet. I guess I'm going to start by smashing, right? Give them the least amount of information before they make blockers. He ruined Modern. Damn it, Jace. Why'd you ruin our beloved format? Man, that's unfortunate. We're really bad at hitting Dredgers tonight. We hit double Conflag that turn, though, so that's decent, I guess. I think I just want to leave up Nature's Claim this turn. And I also just kind of want to like fetch a green source tap this turn. Yep. Squee is another way to bring your prized amalgams back from the bin. He's also a card that generates value when your opponent has something like a Rest in Peace in play, which is a unique style of effect for something like this deck. Yep. Hey, the band Ski. Thanks for the $5 donation. Ooh. Reload my dashboard so I can see your message. Sorry about that. You're the first one tonight. If you had to put Rekindling Phoenix in a modern deck, which one would it be? I couldn't even tell you Rekindling Phoenix's text box, so I need to look that up before I could answer that question. Sorry. Insolent Neonate. All right. Did I still not hit another Dredger? Gosh. I am. Huh. This is a pretty free attack because both of these things come back. So I'm going to play this Life from the Loam so that way I can get a Dredger into my bin before I cast this Faithless Looting. I think there's a non-zero chance that I want to hold this Nature's Claim up, but I kind of just want to like use my mana this turn. Maybe this is greedy. They could like Cranial Plating and mess us up next turn. Yeah, maybe I'm supposed to be defensive against a Cranial Plating potentially. Is plating lethal? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't think plating is lethal. I mean, Squee binding's not really an argument. Wizards of the Coast just said this is how the rules are going to work and deal with it. Peace, Nivik. Catch you tomorrow. Have a good evening. So, opponent conceded. I'll say, hopefully on the back of Conflagrate, we're going to get to beat them next turn. And we actually didn't even have to show them a sideboard card for that game, so that's sweet. I don't think I want to change how I sideboarded, speaking of. Actually, I do. I'm going to cut this Abrupt Decay. I'm going to bring this Pithing Needle in, just because I really don't want to have to fetch black mana. The Bansky with the $5 donation again. The 2 red when it dies. Oh. Maybe that card could be okay in something like Scred. That honestly, that card's just not powerful enough for Modern. Modern's are really a fast and brutally efficient format, and slower cards that grind out card advantage like that just aren't good in Modern. See Jace the Mind Sculptor. What time do I stream tomorrow? 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. So my schedule is going to be very easy to follow moving forward. I'll be live starting about 10 a.m. every morning, Monday to Friday. The exact time I'm going to be streaming every day, Monday to Friday, is going to be a small bit, but I'll be live starting at 10 for a minimum of a few hours every single day. Most days I'm going to be live for 7+ hours. Head into game 3 here against Affinity. We're currently 2-0 in this league with Dredge. Pretty stock Dredge list. We're one card off of the list that Elsic played or recommended playing after his GP finished with it, and that is one Squee the Immortal here. Yeah, I agree, Apple Pies. Other Dredge lists in the past have played like one of Haunted Dead in the slot that I have Squee in, and I think Squee does that job that I want pretty well. Oh god, I've been here half a year. Rookie XP. Thank you very much for the 6-month resubscription. I really appreciate that. Welcome back. This hand has land and dredgers, but it does not have a way to start looting them. This hand is missing a dredger and a green source. Pretty sure I need to keep it though. I'm going to keep a green source on top. Do you have any aspirations to play big Magic Online events like the mocks or the challenges? I actually won 2 different challenge events, like actual factual first place last summer. But I'm really glad we have this Nature's Claim. But honestly, at this point in like my life and my streaming career, it's more profitable for me to spend an entire Saturday or Sunday streaming rather than spending an entire Saturday or Sunday playing a high variance Magic tournament. All right, well, our start's a little bit medium, which is nice for us. Yeah, I think killing the mocks instead of the cage is real greedy. Yeah, I actually streamed a mocks event one time, and the delay is very awkward, or the set round times is very awkward, annoying. Yep, I agree. Does not make for good content. And there's the whole added, like, if you're trying to be really competitive, like, ghosting also sucks in that, too. Dredger. I think I'm just going to go ahead and reunion, bin these 2. Okay. That's not bad. Oh, maybe I was supposed to bin the Bloodghast there? Huh. Alright, so I hit Stinkweed Imp. I'm gonna play this out and pass the turn. Oh, yeah, you know what I should have done? No, that doesn't make sense. Maybe I'm dumb. I'm not actually sure what I was supposed to have done there. Yeah, like I said, the point in your career where whether you win is not important, being able to bring in viewers is more or less uncorrelated to how well you play. Well, I think I play okay, you know, right? But like, honestly, people are more interested in seeing interesting and sweet decks as opposed to just strictly high level play with good decks. Like in my experience producing content, at least, there is a greater desire to see neat things as opposed to just good technical play with stock things. All right, so we're gonna Lightning Axe the crap out of this Steel Overseer, right? In fact, one of the reasons why I did Dredge last tonight was because our viewer count actually went down when we started playing Dredge as opposed to playing like the aggro Scapeshift deck in Blue-Red Prison, because this is a mostly stock tier 1 deck basically, or tier 2 or whatever, high tier modern deck. Whatever tier you want to call it is probably debatable. Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and Lightning Axe this guy. I think I just want to bin this Bloodghast. No, I'm gonna bin the Thug actually. So I can bin, it doesn't really matter because I'm just going to bin the gas to this, or I'm going to bin the Stinkweed Imp to this Reunion anyways. What do you think of Faithless Looting and Grixis Death Shadow? Every time I've tried to play Faithless Looting in a deck that doesn't have Lingering Souls, it's felt really bad. Take that to mean what you will. 2 amalgams in here. Yep. It's a cranial plating. Yeah, did I hit Ancient Grudge? I didn't, did I? Yeah, this matchup's probably kind of hard for us, especially with this configuration that we have right now. Alright, we're dead to Galvanic Blast. We're just going to be dead in general, right? Because they're hitting us to... Ooh. Ooh, this is actually really good for us. The fact... Oh, they just have Gale Blast and we're dead? Yeah, that makes sense. I was like, the fact that they didn't attack with this is good. I guess we could have just traded for that anyways. Yeah, tough race. I think if you really wanted to hedge the Affinity matchup with this deck, you would definitely want to put more Ancient Grudge on the sideboard. Probably at least a second. Alright, 2 and 1. I mean, every match is 50-50, right? Either you win or you don't. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. We did not play Ascendancy tonight. You can always check what decks I've played by looking at the donation queue. I always put the decks that we're playing on a given day at the top. This hand's okay. This hand has all the things we're looking for. Like I said, it kind of sucks that we have a Narcomoeba in the opener, but like it's hard to pass up like land, Neonate, Imp. Yeah, it's definitely like exactly the combination of not only Etch Champion, but Etch Champion is a mirror. I think it's a mirror. I don't think I've ever played a Dredge mirror before. God, that's a good Dredge. That is. All right, let's try again here. Put this Gnaw to the bone in. Cut this Lightning Axe. That Dredge is better than our whole league. You're not wrong. It was a very good Dredge. You're not wrong. It's very, very strong on their side. I'd love to play first. Thank you. This just doesn't do enough, right? It needs a second land. All right. Hopefully the fifth match goes a little bit better than that one. Thanks everyone for hanging out through the end here tonight. Remember, if you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to the channel and check out some of the sponsors. InkedGaming.com would love to help you customize your gaming experience. Using code Jeff12, you can save 12% on custom playmats, mouse pads, binders, and bags with them. Cardsphere.com would love to help you turn your Magic cards into other cards or cash directly with other players. There's no haggling. They just take 1% fee off the top. And finally, this stream is made possible by viewers like Anaronix, Justin, Nivik, and you. If you are enjoying the content, make sure you hit the follow button. Following the stream doesn't cost you anything, and it lets you know when I go live and with what. I always try and put the names of the decks that I'm going to be playing on a given day in the stream title when I initially go live, so that way if you have your notifications on, you can know what to expect. And if you see something sweet that you can't catch live, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland. All of my streams get archived there, and you can break them up by decks, so you can watch just the stuff that you care about. He doesn't enter from the grave, he simply casts. He's cast from the graveyard, right? Oh. Does he not trigger Prized Amalgams? Or if you cast it from your graveyard. No, yeah, he does. A Prized Amalgam explicitly says if it entered from the graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard. Yeah, okay, you had me doubt myself there for a second. You had me doubt myself there for a second. He definitely triggers Prized Amalgam. I was like, oh shit. We haven't actually done that yet. So I was like, did I make a boo-boo? But no, he definitely triggers Prized Amalgam. Whew. I mean, made me doubt myself. Had a big glaring moment of self. I was like, the thing that we have built this league on this evening has been built on a house of lies. Correct. It doesn't work if he was cast from exile, because that means he was not cast from a graveyard. This matchup's a pure race. Being on the draw is a pretty big drawback for game number 1 here. We have 6 pieces of discard for the post-board games, which will be good, though. All right, that's a Conflagrate. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Conflagrate their dome here for all but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I keep 1 land in my hand so that way I can play a land and flashback Faithless Looting next turn. But just like dome you for now, use my mana for the turn, get some cards I want in my graveyard No, yeah, you had me doubt myself too. I was like, no, you're right. This doesn't enter from the graveyard. It enters from the stack. And I was like, oh, wait. Then I went and read the card, and I was like, oh, no, we're good. We good. That's kind of punishing for the fact that we burned the Conflagrate early. I have another Conflag in the bin, though, so I guess we're fine. That's double Amalgam. God bless. All right, and then here's hoping we dredge into some more amalgams here, so these amalgams flip the other amalgams. Hey, Gen Con, G-Con 101, thank you very much for the 3-month free subscription. I do appreciate that. Welcome back. Quarter of a year. Thank you for the continued support. Does Titanshift usually mainboard Anger of the Gods? A lot of them have moved to mainboarding Sweltering Sun, so hopefully Sweltering Suns is what's going to happen here. If any sweeper at all. Hopefully they just don't have a sweeper, but if they do have a sweeper, hopefully it's Sweltering Suns. So they're at 12 here. They're going to gain 1 to 2 more health this turn. Shuffling, that's good for us. Hopefully they're not playing the Through the Breach version. Usually Scapeshift in their deck means they're not on Through the Breach, but some of them do play a mix. It's modern. A lot of people brew kind of random things. They have a Bloodbraid in their hand. This is smart, clearing the top of their deck. Try and find another land on top. So this is going to put them to land number 5. If they have a land in their hand, that gets them to land number 6, so we could be dead as early as next turn. So like 1 Bloodghast so far. I'm gonna bring back... I'm still at 20, which is actually pretty important for Scapeshift math. So pick these up. I can go to 19 and get my other basic mountain back here. So... I think I'm gonna Conflagrate and deal 2 and 1 here. That way, if this wants to block, it dies. Yeah, I think I like this. And I get to smash. The fact that they have Courser in their main deck really punished us for burning our hand on that first Conflagrate aggressively, but I think in the dark I shouldn't expect this in their main deck, so I think it was fine. Bolt's pretty good. He didn't block. I guess not blocking is smart because their Titan's gonna fetch them up 2 lands this turn. So they're gonna end up going up to 8 here. Yeah, I think we're actually dead. Just being on the draw in conjunction with this Courser is just too much. I had double ramp into the turn. I guess this is a turn 5 Titan. Yep. Yep, not playing around a game 1 Courser is... So I'm going to shoot down the Amalgams, I assume, here. I'm going to pop up to 8. Oh, I guess shooting down Narcomoebas makes sense, because they can't block those. They split the difference. Weird. All right, so I'm going to dredge Loam, and if we dredge into, like, Bloodghast plus our last Conflagrate, maybe we could steal this. We did not hit our last Conflagrate, so I believe we're dead. Yeah. Yep. So my decision on that turn 2 definitely cost us that game. To bring in all of these. I just sent you the list. Thanks, Justin. I'll take a peek at it after I'm done tonight, as always. That's 6 discard spells. Where's the sideboard guide? Cuts 2 Neonates. A Conflagrate. An Axe. A Loam. And a Narcomoeba. I guess that makes sense. I'm going to cut Squee, actually, because he's a little bit slower. Alright, let's do it. Yeah, that's another line, too, maybe. I guess trading with the Bloodbraid Elf doesn't really matter the way... because the Amalgams just come back. That hand was reasonable if it had a... yeah. I mean, this is the best of the hands we've looked at. Oh, I can't even do this because it makes me discard 2 cards. That's a sad end of the night. Okay. Well... that league didn't... it's funny, right? Like... it feels like the Blue-Red Prison League from earlier, right? Like, we added this card, and then we didn't play any matches where this card was going to be relevant, so I don't know if this card was useful or not. I think if you're expecting more fair decks in Modern, and you're playing Dredge, this card could potentially be very reasonable, but it's probably just too slow with how linear the format is right now. At any rate, thank you everyone for watching. If you didn't catch the Aggro Scapeshift League that we played earlier tonight, the deck's really sweet. Be sure to check that out. I'm going to go publish it on YouTube now. And I'll be back again tomorrow morning. My new schedule starts at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. So thanks for watching, folks, and I'll catch you in the morning, hopefully. Or at some point tomorrow. I'll be going from 10 till 5.